groups engaged in saving and credit phenomena, grain savings and labor exchanges. So we have a 65 years of the cooperative movement, but we took a momentum from 1992. Before that, the cooperative movement was controlled by government. That's why it was not that much took up significant growth before 1992. And now they are working in diverse sector and working in the rural area of the Nepal. So we have categorized some of the development priorities. Up to 1992, we take that this is up to that promotion era was in Nepalese cooperative development. We are teaching cooperative philosophy, principle, values, and importance of savings and credit. Sensitization campaigns were done at that time. Still we are doing it, but that was the period where the focus and priorities was given to the promotion of the cooperative. And 1993 to 1998, we slightly give them a shape. Self-help group is converted to the cooperative trade CFIs, and formation of national federation and leadership development and leadership training programs were carried out very effectively and importantly at that time. And 1991 to 2007, we start to professionalize the CFIs, even though we are facing challenge right now, but the priority was given to this development of the system, policy, product, prudential standards, and governance, market segmentation, institutional development programs were carried out in that period. So in 2008 to 2013, we are focusing on the quality assurance of the cooperatives, financial institutions, benchmarking, branding, starting risk-based supervision, and stabilization fund. We were advocating for the starting the stabilization fund, which later on included in new cooperative act, and management training and developing a strategic planning, operating a credit union based on the policy and plan. And with the help of ACUs, we started access program and grading the cooperative based on their performance and efficiency. And from 2014 onwards, we are starting to consolidate the network because we are 30,000 cooperatives in Nepal. You may laugh at times because we hardly see such numbers in developed countries, but we have more than 30,000 cooperative working in Nepal, and this is too big to regulate, and they are having different priorities and different asset size and different character and different necessity. So in 2014 onwards, we are starting to consolidate our network. So we are still doing it, right? It's not completed. So these are the data in cooperative Nepal. Number of institutions, as I said, more than 30,000. Loan investment, more than 500 billions in Nepalese currency. It will say 5 billion in US dollar. Share capital, 100 billions in Nepalese currency. You can say 1 billion equivalent to US dollar. And saving mobilization, it is more than 500 billion, around 5 billion in US dollar. This is the cooperative data in Nepal. And numbers, more than 7 million out of 29 million are associated with the cooperative movement. And number of direct employment, 100,000 jobs were created by the credit union and cooperatives in Nepal. If you see the individual member distribution, female are dominating the figures. 56.16% females are member of the cooperative sectors compared to 43.84%. As per the Nepalese constitutions and the Cooperative Act, 33% of women's representation on board committee and account supervisor is mandatory. That's why it is giving an opportunity to women to come up in the leadership position. So one thing is very unique in Nepal, even though it is practiced across the globe, but in Nepal, we say there is a 3-pillar economy. If you see the economic pillar, one is public, another is private, and another is cooperative. So that is written in Constitution of Nepal. So any program or any government services goes excluding cooperative sector would be violation of Constitution, right? So even though we are yet to perform, but that is what validated and acknowledged by the cooperative Constitution of Nepal. So I will skip it. So now I'm simply talking about the major areas of regulatory governance. As I said, we are having so many cooperatives in Nepal, so many leaders engaged in cooperative. So new Cooperative Act given some emphasis on member participation. So the member centrality calculation makes more member to participate. Now emphasis is given to merger. And there is one saying in Nepal that cooperatives are not working in the productive area. They are not creating sufficient job. And the cooperatives leaders were saying, we are very small. We don't have money. We don't have capital to do that. So Cooperative Act has a special provision. You can form a specialized cooperative from the cooperative themselves so that you can become a bigger and you can do a bigger project. That is what there is in there. And provision of saving and credit protection fund is there. So to ensure that the money kept in cooperative are safe the way other BFIs had, and establishment of stabilizing fund. There is a provision of joint monitoring by federation of the credit union along with the government. So that is joint monitoring is there. And management committee, if any cooperative has any problem, then that is there. So reference interest rate is there introduced to control the interest charged by cooperative, because there is various issues come in the news saying cooperatives are charging higher on loan to their own members. So the reference interest rate provision is inserted there. Restriction to dual membership. A person may have so many membership from the other cooperative. It was stopped and controlled from the new act. And all internal policy and procedures should be passed from General Assembly, because every time board of directors are changing the policies, and that is creating a policy inconsistency and problem. That is why all internal policy of credit union should be accepted, resolved, passed through General Assembly. And AGM procedure, you cannot have your own agenda. You should give to the member a 7 days notice with a certain procedure to, if they have any point to discuss in AGM, then they can come up with you, so that the agenda will become board of directors agenda, members agenda. So, and mandatory for long-form audit reports, all is there. Prospect in Nepal about the cooperative, it is widely recognized in Constitution of Nepal. And now decentralization of government helps to flourish cooperative movement, and a strong and reliable source of rural financing, because the BFIs are working in the urban areas. Government priority use cooperative as a tool or a strategy to poverty reduction. And monetary policy also started to endorse cooperatives' contribution into national economy. Nepal aims to upgrade from LDC to CFS. So CFS role is important to play there. And government has recognized cooperative as a vital stakeholder to achieve SDGs. That is why these are some areas where CFIs can see themselves as a prospective entity to contribute and support to the Nepalese economy. As usual, we also have challenges. One is a philosophical inclination in common board. I think this is slightly misinterpreted. Why is it so? I am a CEO of a bank, and my performance is measured based on the dividend I paid. So I wonder whether we are social-oriented entity or we are a capital-centric entity. What exactly is important, right? And people has a different logic and different comment, but we feel that the philosophical inclination in common board is seen a very huge challenge in Nepal. And another is prudential regulation mechanism. There is a very huge discussion earlier. Also, we have a very detailed discussion about the regulation. But we feel in Nepal recent time, There is a severe challenges seen in a cooperative governance. People are facing challenge to take their deposit back. So at any cost, we cannot say because of the poor regulation mechanism, money of the members should not go away. It should be protected and it should be returned. That is why prudential regulation mechanism is what we are facing challenge. And another is digitalization and digitization. And nowadays in Nepal, we feel that only transferring money and withdrawing money is a digitalization. But how about we hold meeting? How about our old data gets into the digital form? How are we using this data to decision making process? If only our payment channel is digitalized, does it satisfy our requirement? Do it improve our efficiency? Are we capable to compete to the other stakeholder? Because at the end of the day, we need to compete to the external parties. So that is also quite challenging. And lack of youth engagement in Nepalese cooperative sector. A person of if your age is 16 years or below, you cannot become a member of a cooperative. So their parents are doing deposit, mobilize and everything for them. And it is seen that youth are doing it. In real sense, they are nowhere. Youth themselves are deciding about their savings and taking a decision based on that. We from our bank did a small project. We are setting up a youth club in a public school. We will form a committee over there, chaired by class 9 student, because class 10 is SE. They are not much interested. And mentoring by a teacher. And we give a small token of money. You can $100 in a month, in a year, right? So they will hold meeting. They will take some refreshment. They will carry out the essay writing competition about cooperatives and all, so that later on themselves can become a good leader. Now we are educating them, and later on we are planning to engage them. And here youth refers person below 24 years, not 40 years, like our government has a definition of youth as a 40 years or below. I just crossed the youth age. Otherwise, we want themselves to talk about their future and take a decision based on that. So youth involvement is quite poor in Nepal. Manpower working in cooperative sectors are not to that much competent with the other BFIs and other entity. If you have incompetent manpower, then you are creating operational risks and so many gray areas is there. And of course, high cost of fund because of the dividend payout ratio and expectation and poor participation is in AGM. Even though we are member-based, member-control and member-centric entity, but in practically, how are we implementing that? And other indicator, if they are not showing that we are member-based entity, then our service is based on price and we are taking high-cost fund. And taking high-cost fund, again, giving a logic, it is highly cost, so you need to pay high cost in your loan. And we are becoming a mechanical rather than innovative. These are some challenges of financial cooperatives in Nepal. I think yesterday I had the opportunity to participate in the research symposium and got a sense that this is the global phenomena. Now we need to work on this. This is the agenda of my presentation, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bajre, for sharing these amazing figures about Nepalese cooperatives. This organization of the economy in Nepal, it reminds me